channel may be recorded and monitored. Press 1 to accept. Press 2 to block calls from... Hello?
Hey, Garrett, how are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing all right, just sort of being a lazy douche today. How's your Saturday going?
It's alright. No Saturday in jail, I guess.
What does that usually look like? You get up and, like, exercise some?
Yeah, every day.
Yeah. No, I bet. But, yeah, it's kind of raining where I am. I got a little bit of lazy start to my day. But, yeah, I guess let's sort of pick up where we left off. And just as a heads up, like, you don't have to answer anything that you don't want to. If you don't feel comfortable about it, just let me know.
Right.
Is that cool? Yeah, it's going to be kind of a little bit of a standard interview, I guess. I'm going to let you be, like, as honest and open as you want to be, and I'm just going to sort of ask you some questions and sit back, if that's cool. All right. So just, in general, I just kind of want to know a little bit about you. So, like, just tell me about yourself, outside of jail. Like, what do you like doing?
Riding horses, spending time with my family.
Riding horses. So you're a big... Getting high. Yeah. You're a big animal fan.
I mean, I don't want to do that shit no more, but...
Right. You're just over it?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, look at where it got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand. How are you with your family? Like, I know your mom's still around, right? How's your home life? Or how was it before you left?
Good. I mean, me and my parents and my grandparents have always been on good terms.
You and your parents and your grandparents? Did you,
Yeah, my brother and sister.
Cool. Are they older or younger than you?
Older. I'm the baby. I'm the youngest.
You're the baby? Did you always feel like the baby?
Do what?
Did you always feel like the youngest growing up? I'm an only child, so I don't really know, like, sibling hierarchy shit.
Not really. I mean, I was always with my brother, so I kind of grew up fast.
Gotcha. So, I guess, did you finish high school? Who are some of your best friends, just in general, like, outside of, just in your life or, like, before all of this shit happened?
Jimmy Snowberger's been one of my best friends for years, but I haven't talked to him since I've been in here. Kyle and Russell Stout. Douglas Marsky, that was my childhood best friend. And I've known Michaela for years, too, so...
Michaela, she's the one that was related to the Germans, but you didn't really know for a while, right?
Yeah.
Did they share some, like, common interest with you, or y'all just, like, chilling?
Well, I grew up with Jimmy. We went to school together, because I went to Frontier, and then when we were, like, 6, he moved to Delphi, but we grew up riding dirt bikes and everything together.
Riding dirt bikes? So, I'm so fucking stupid when it comes to dirt, but like ATVs, like riding around in the mud and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
You couldn't catch me on one of those. I'd just flip it over the second I got on. And so here's a question for you. And again, if you don't feel like talking about it, if it's something that's a little bit, heavy for you to talk about, you had a friend named Steven, didn't you?
Yeah.
Steven.
You're going to ask me if I was involved in his death. There's no way, no how.
That's not what I'm going to ask you. I was just going to ask you about y'all's friendship. I know that his death, it seems like from what I've been told by a couple people, his death really did a number on you.
Oh, yeah, it did. That was my brother's best friend growing up. I've known him my whole life. But the only reason I said that is because when I talked to another Sarah chick that was on YouTube, she said that people were saying it was weird how he died right down the road from my house. I'd been riding horses all day that day when me and my sister went down the hill. Steven had already wrecked, and the fucking ambulance was putting the sheet over his body, so I seen him laying there.
Yeah, no, I have no reason to think that, that wasn't my angle at all. I just wanted to sort of get you to talk about that because I know that was kind of a painful thing for you. I think he just, for you as a person, he died in 2014, right? He had an accident and you actually saw it happen. And you tried to resuscitate him, I think, or like wanted to make sure he was doing okay?
No, I wasn't even there when he died. I was I literally, me and my sister been riding horses all day that day. I went down the hill and I seen the shoe in the middle of the road and then the moped and shit. And then when we went down the hill and turned, I seen Steven's body laying on the side of the hill and there was already a sheet over him. I didn't try to resuscitate him at all. I wasn't even there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you hear about stuff like that, and it's sort of, the paths get crossed and stuff, and, different guys talk about different things, and, but yeah, from what I've heard from people, because I do a little bit of investigative, talking to people and stuff like that, just in general, I knew that did kind of a number on you. So you guys were really good friends, like, did y'all do sort of the same stuff that you did with other people, like ATVs and shit?
Yeah. He lived right down the road from me, and then we used to bail, I was like 9 or 10 baling hay for Jeremy Mears because my grandpa leases the field out and splits the hay with him, so I grew up baling hay with him. Like I said, he grew up with my brother, so I was always around him.
So you would like work together, and you said you baled hay at the Mears farm?
No, Jeremy Mears used to bale my grandpa's hay, and we used to fucking bale hay all for all them and shit.
Okay, bale hay for the Mears and your granddad and stuff. Okay. Cool deal. Yeah, no, I had seen on Facebook that you guys like had worked together and would like, do fun stuff and chase girls and, work together, bale hay for Mears and stuff like that. But yeah, so I think that's sort of in connection with Ron Logan's property, right? Or just in general, not the property, but Ron Logan. I'm sure he hooked you up with some jobs.
I never worked for Ron. Me and my dad just went out there. He knows my grandpa. He knows my dad. That's my grandpa's best friend. I've known Ron since I was in diapers.
What was the place where you broke horses? Can you tell me a little bit about that place?
Yeah, my grandpa's, my dad's.
Okay. So it was like a family business. Gotcha. See, everyone's sort of connected. So I'm just trying to get my people straight and who owned what horse thing and stuff like that. But yeah, so it just seems like everybody around there is like, loves being outdoors and taking care of animals and stuff. What are your favorite animals to take care of besides horses?
Horses, that's about it. Goats.
I heard goats are mean.
No, not at all.
Really?
People are fucking mean.
People are, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they're just smelly. Maybe that's what I heard. But so yeah, I guess, I'm really sorry about Steven. I know that's something that, I haven't quite had to come across yet is, losing a best friend like that. It seems like that really hurt you.
Yeah, most definitely. Hurt everybody because, everybody I hung out with Steven.
So he was like a linchpin, sort of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kept everyone together. Did you, and this is just a question that somebody asked me, did you ever know anybody named Harley? Was he a friend of Steven's at all?
Harley?
Mm-hmm.
Harley who?
There was a person that asked me if, that from Delphi, just because I have some friends from Delphi. They said there was a person named, I think it was like Harley Timmons. Was he friends with anybody that you were friends with?
I don't think I've ever heard that name before, honestly.
Harley Timmons?
The only Harley I know from Delphi is you sure it's not Harvey with a V?
It might be Harvey. Somewhat, people have mumble mouths and stuff. They just wanted me to know, or wanted me to...
The only Harvey I know is Harvey Mossholder, and the only Harley I know is Harley Babcock, and that's a chick.
Harley Babcock, right. I remember you had told me a little bit about her. Okay, that's cool. Just wasn't sure. Okay, cool. So yeah, pretty much we just got, you love horses, you love taking care of goats, you're really close with your friends. Do you think Steven's death, did that make you sort of like want to do drugs more, or did you kind of want to like back off because of Steven's death?
Well, I was already fucking, knee deep in the drug game by then, so, there wasn't no stopping.
Yeah. So it may have just sort of kept going, and yeah, shit, I've got substance abuse problems. Like if sometimes, if the smallest thing happens to me, I'll drink like I'll drink a pint of whiskey and, yeah, we all have our own ways to cope and shit like that. So, I don't blame you for any of that at all. But, okay, well, yeah, I sort of got a good picture about you and, how you knew Ron and you've known him for a long time and grew up going there and taking care of the horses and you love animals. All right, so now, if there's something else you want to tell me about that, let me know. Good to go?
Yep.
So, all right, so we'll get kind of a little bit just, this won't be confrontational again. I just kind of want to get your opinion on some things, you know what I mean? Just because a lot of people have put you in the spotlight. This isn't me accusing you of anything. I'm just sort of like drumming up some things that Ed said, and I want to get, why you were upset about it and stuff like that. But let's start out. I know that someone had mentioned your cousin Tiffany, right? And so what do you think her purpose was on Facebook about the day, like, that shit went down and what you were doing?
I mean, I don't even talk to Tiffany. I've met that chick once, and I can't stand the bitch. So, and she knows that I can't fucking stand her. And the reason that she probably did that shit is because my mom sold my 2 German Shepherds to her, and one of them ended up dying. And me and her got into it about that shit, and I said some pretty mean shit. So there's her leverage about posting that dumb shit on Facebook.
So you think she was doing it to kind of incriminate you?
I mean, I haven't even seen it. I don't even know what the fuck it says. So.
She basically, in so many words, she had said that you were locked up in a room in your mom's house, sort of not coming out of the room for a few days after Valentine's Day on the 17th. And she thought at the time it was mainly just because you were having a withdrawal from spice.
Well, yeah, that shit made me sick like heroin. So, that's logical. But I didn't lock myself in there for no reason other than me withdrawing. And I didn't even it's not like I fucking quarantined myself in the fucking bedroom. I went, ate, came out, smoked cigarette shit.
You were just trying to detox.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So pretty much, yeah, that's what was going on around. And so like when you told me yesterday, you were sort of back and forth between, where you were staying and your uncle's house. You were just trying to detox from spice around that time in February, right? In 2017?
Yeah, honestly, there hasn't been a day since I've been sober except for when I'm locked up. That's the truth. Except for when I was in fucking work release. Like I said, I'm a drug addict. If it'll get me high, I'll fucking do it.
How you feel being sober?
Great. It's the greatest I've ever felt in my life.
You feel great? That's good. Shit, I've never done meth or spice, but, on the days that I don't drink, I'm not saying that's the same thing. I definitely, I'm like, man, why don't I do this all the fucking time? But, okay, so yeah, I guess that's sort of what she was using to incriminate you was, she was saying that that's what was going on during that time, is that you were, locked, in the room, pretty much not coming out.
Since that time, she has apologized to my mom and said that she was lying and all that shit. So I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean.
I haven't talked to Tiffany. I have no desire to talk to Tiffany.
Gotcha. Yeah, you don't know her very well. Okay, so that's totally cool. And I think that may have been one of the first things that sort of started, getting the finger pointed at you. But yeah, just tell me a little bit about, we won't talk about anything that you've done or anything like that necessarily right now. Again, I just want to get your opinion, clear some stuff up that Ed said. So when the police started first asking you, or law enforcement started asking you about the Delphi case, what ended up happening? Did they just sort of bust in and they're like, what did you do?
No, they didn't bust in. At first, they tried to tell me that fucking Ron Logan made a statement, and they said they lied about that. So, and they even said we know you didn't do it, but they think that I know something about it. Which, if I knew something about that shit, I'd say it. Whoever did that shit deserves to die in fucking prison.
Yeah, it's a pretty awful thing. Did Doug Carter come to you at all, or was it just some of his, dronies at the police station?
I have no idea who Doug Carter is.
He's the head of the Indiana State Police, crew cut, glasses guy. But that could be all of them, right? So just a few officers came to talk to you, I guess?
Yeah.
And so basically they came to you saying that you know who did this. Or you might know. I wonder why they thought that.
I don't know. invested in the drug game around there. So, I mean, they have not the slightest clue who fucking did that shit. And my question is, why wasn't I a suspect when the shit happened? I'm only a suspect when I go to jail for something fucked up and somebody points the finger at me now.
Well, I think a lot of people have speculation, not about you necessarily, but that, some stuff was messed up preliminarily in the investigation, and they sort of had to end up working backwards, if you know what I mean. Like, it wasn't like there was obvious shit at the crime scene where it was like DNA and stuff like that, but they kind of had to end up working backwards to the point where the person that was caught had to have, or the person who did it had to have DNA in the system for them to catch them. You see what I'm saying, as in working backwards? So I think that
DNA's been in the system since I was fucking 14 years old.
What did they take your DNA for? Just like they swab you?
What do you mean? When I was younger?
Yeah.
I broke into a car dealership when I was like 14. And they took my fingerprints, my DNA, all that shit. Hair.
They took all of that. So it's been in there. So when they came to you about the Delphi case and they said, either you can help us out or whatever they said, did they ask you for DNA at that time?
I offered it.
You offered it. Did they not want it?
No, they did. I mean, I offered it. I mean, I was like, you guys want to take it, take it. Like I said, I have nothing to fucking hide. I have no reason to lie to anybody about anything.
Yeah. And so you did end up giving it to them again, so they 100% have your shit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I gave it to the state police in this case, so they already have it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. So you did give it to the state police. Okay, cool. So have you, I know you said you didn't have like a whole bunch of knowledge on this before, but like, have you seen that press release from April 2019 that they did?
What? The conference or whatever?
Sorry, yeah, the conference that the police did where they quote unquote switched directions.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What's your take on that?
I mean, nothing. I don't really have a take on it, but they said to the killer that might be in this room. I'm in fucking jail, so that kind of throws that out.
Do you think that was, this is just a pretty basic question about it. Do you think that it was that they knew who it was and they're waiting for someone to squeal, or do you think it was grasping at straws?
I mean, if they know who did it and they're waiting for somebody to squeal, it's only a matter of time. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I've seen like 3 minutes of that fucking conference. I have no, like, hey, I have nothing against the family. Yeah, that's fucked up shit. My heart goes out to them, but I have no desire to be involved in that shit. You know what I mean? They want to ask me questions. I'll talk to the detectives anytime. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. But I mean, I don't stick my nose where it don't belong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get you. And I mean, that type of shit gets you in trouble. Okay. So, and I think a lot of people think that the whole thing with the press conference and it happening sort of coincided with you getting arrested for the whole Nicole thing. I think that was a line people connected. I didn't know if you had a thought about that.
I mean, I don't see how there's a line connected. This shit here happened, and there was no fucking knives or anything. So where's the similarities at? You know what I mean?
There were no well, I mean, I don't think anybody's...
I don't even like butchering deer or shit like that. I don't like the sight of blood, so...
Well, I don't think that anybody had said that there was a knife involved in Delphi yet, though. The cause of death hasn't been released. So...
Well, I heard from Michaela when all that shit happened that they counted stab marks, so...
Okay. The only reason I say that is because, like, I, as a general population person, haven't been informed of how they died, and I know they were keeping that close to their chest, so, I can only assume it was violent. I didn't know a knife was involved, but, yeah, I know with Nicole there wasn't a knife involved, because all that shit's out there for the world to see, you know what I mean?
I don't know if there was a knife involved or not. All I know is, like I said, what I heard from Michaela. She said that they started counting stab marks so and so many times, and I don't even remember what the fuck she said, but she told me, Jimmy, Snowburger, and all the friends, Nick Beal, and everybody that was hanging out with us that night, that's what the fuck happened.
Okay, yeah.
And after that shit happened, Michaela got real strung out on Adderall.
Why is that? And was she a cousin of Libby's, or was she just, like, distant relative?
I think she was a cousin or aunt or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't talked to her. I mean, not that I don't want to. I mean, like I said, I've known her my whole life. It'd be nice to talk to her, but I don't know how to get a hold of her.
She just sort of, because you're in jail, you mean. Gotcha. Okay. So, let me just ask you a couple questions here. I know this has been something on the internet. Why do you think in that press conference they chose to add the word guys or the extra audio, to put out to the public? Why do you think that happened? You think it was just one word that was useful to them?
I mean, I guess. I mean, like I said, I don't know. No, I heard that fucking clip for like I said, I watched like 3 minutes of it. That Sarah chick from YouTube showed it to me. And, I mean, honestly, they have voice recognition and shit nowadays. My shit's in the system from me being in White County Jail and all that shit. You got to read a fucking, like a illustration on the wall into the phone, so your voice is in the system. So, like I said, I mean, I don't have anything to hide. That's why I don't keep my mouth shut. Keeping my mouth shut makes you look guilty. That's why I'm talking to you. You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, and I appreciate it. And I mean, that's why I'm talking to you. I think it's just because, if we can talk to people and in my mind and in other people's mind rule them out, then we get closer to finding like the POS that killed those girls. So, and just like the reason I ask you if you think that they knew what they were doing, around that time is, you must know that they changed sketches, right, of the person of interest.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because they don't know what they're doing, or do you think they're onto something? Just in your opinion.
I mean, if they put so much, you got to think about this. They put so much footwork and shit and hours into that. I mean, by this time they have to have a fucking, the slightest opinion on who they think did it.
Yeah, fair enough. I heard that that first sketch or the second sketch that they released actually was drawn first, and it's just funny because they look like super different. Like they just look like two completely different people, and it's sort of like, all right, well, I guess they've all been looking for the wrong person this time, but I don't know. It's like when you have 3 pieces to a puzzle and everyone's like, finish it. But,
yeah.
So you think they have an idea and they're just sort of like trying to push forward with this new way of figuring it out.
Yeah. I mean, look, you got to think of it this way. And this is the way I look at it. I mean, if somebody's willing to do that to 2 little girls, what do you think they're going to they obviously have to be interconnected with somebody. What do you think that person's going to do or have somebody else do if somebody squeals and tells, police who did the shit, look at what they did, you know what I mean? You don't think they'll do that to somebody else's family? So I can see why, somebody out there is scared to come forward.
Yeah, and also because, if you accuse someone and they look into them, then, that person has the potential to be really angry. So, yeah, no, I totally get that. So you had mentioned to me that you had heard that they were stabbed, like from what Michaela said. Is that like all you have to go off of in terms of like hearing stuff from around town and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, everybody they pointed the finger at several different people. You know what I mean? Like they pointed the finger at Ron, and that's why he got all that prison time because the reason he got out of prison time is because at that time he said where he was at, and he didn't have a license at that time, so that's why he went to prison because he was driving during all that shit. And where he was at was where he was at. The cops looked for all that shit. And somebody asked me if I knew who Jerome Weiss was. I have no fucking idea who that dude is. But somebody said that Sarah chick that I was talking to said that he was suspected in the Delphi case. But I don't even know who the motherfucker is. Like I said, I don't really go to Delphi except to eat and shit. You know what I mean? Or to hang out with Jimmy. And, I know a few people from Delphi that are around my age. I don't know any old people, except for, Skeeter Hunt and shit like that, which he works on all my dad's vehicles when they break down.
Okay. And I know that, I think, even that day that it happened, I think they took one of Ron's cars away. I don't know if he told you that, but I think one of his cars got, taken away from his property and stuff, and I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty big property there, is it not? I mean...
Yeah, but he's only got one truck, so they took his only vehicle if they did take one.
Yeah. So I guess the probation thing ended up. So how, do you know how he got out? Like in terms of like just saying. So he just said he needed someone to take care of the horses, and he was able to get out.
Yeah, I mean that's what he said.
That's it. Oh. I mean, weirder shit has happened. Seems like that place is kind of all over the place. But so he told you that he needed someone to take care. He told I guess the court that someone needed
That's
to.
what he told my dad and my grandpa. I mean, like I said, I've known Ron my whole life. I've never known him to lie to anybody, so I don't think he would be lying now.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I get it. So I guess he's just, at home now. And like we talked about yesterday, you said as far as the Ashley thing being out, it's because she's trying to pin it all on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, y'all, I know you said y'all aren't on good terms, and we talked a little bit about
I know we ain't on good terms. She's the reason all this fucking shit happened.
Yeah, I mean, so she was sort of the motivator in it all?
Exactly. And now she's out, you know what I mean? We ain't even together and she's still fucking me over.
Do you feel manipulated?
Absolutely. I mean, that girl used to manipulate me into fucking, like, I'd be sitting at the house taking care of her kids, she'd go run off and get high and shit. And I was too naive to, I didn't know it was like, oh, she ain't cheating on me. Like, well, if it's a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, but when you're in love, it's sort of like you don't want to believe all the bad shit. You kind of just like, have rose-colored glasses on, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Ashley was an angel in my book. Now I see her for who she really is. Like, she told one of, a mutual friend, I guess you could say, that I've been in jail with. Ashley talked to one of them on Facebook or something and told them to have me write her. But yeah, she's telling everybody out there that I'm some type of monster and that she hates my guts. If she hates me and all that, why the fuck is she wanting to talk to me?
So she is wanting you to write her then. Yes, and you haven't done that yet?
Hell no, I don't want to talk to her.
You don't know what that's. You think she's gonna just try to like cozy up to you again and be like, "Hey, boo," or something?
Yeah, she's probably trying to do that because she knows when I go to trial, I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm telling them everything that happened here. I'm telling them everything.
You think she's gonna go down?
That's why I'm going to trial, because I'm not going to keep my mouth shut. I'm getting on the stand, and I'm going to say what the fuck happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't blame you. I
said, I have nothing to gain from this. I'm going to prison, you know what I mean? At this point, I did something fucked up. I need to go pay for it, you know what I mean? I'm not no coward. I'm a man. If I do something, I'm a man up to it. But if they're going to let her out to where she can possibly do the same shit that happened here again with somebody else that she's dating, hell no, that shit ain't going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm going to do everything I can. I mean, look at Nicole's family. You think Nicole's family wants to see the person that, had involvement with the death of their daughter to walk the fucking streets again? No.
So you're doing your job to make sure that happens, and you feel that if she's not incarcerated, then justice, forgive the term, justice truly hadn't been served.
Exactly. I mean, like people say, hey, this is going to cut off in a minute. Let me call you right back.